years now, and since then I've DJ'd. I've been on a ton of different tours. I've DJ'd Stagecoach. This would have been my 4th year, and I've collaborated with some artists on like if you ever heard the name Fillmore, he's up and coming. He's on New Boots on Spotify. Tyler Fillmore is one of my best friends here in Nashville. We've known each other since I moved here, and that first or second year I did Stagecoach. So this is probably 2015, 2016. Me and him actually released a version of his song Headlights that I did a remix to, and Stagecoach actually paid for him to come out, and we performed it together during my set.
Nice.
And that's like when kind of like the production / collaboration side of what I do started. Other artists started reaching out to me saying like, hey, Hish, I have this song out right now, or I'm about to release a song. I would love to do a remix, or I would love to collab and write on this. And that's kind of where it launched me into more what I do now, which is like the production side of it, and writing and all that. So through the years, I got to play Stagecoach, Country Thunder, and it just, I mean, shoot, I couldn't even name them. The list goes on, and my lanyard collection is absolutely insane.
How did you end up coming over to London then? How did your first show come about there? Yeah, so
it's actually still somewhat of a question to me as to how it happened, but basically, I knew that country. So I went to a year of uni at London University of the Arts, right at the roundabout at Elephant Castle. That was my senior year of college. I lived over there, and so I've always had a love for London in general, and I came there because I wanted to, and I studied abroad, and I just think it's so crazy to think that I went to school there, and I was like, man, this is, these 6 months are going to be the craziest 6 months of my life. I'll probably never come back to London again. And here I am, where not only am I coming to London like at very least twice a year right now, but I'm literally working with Country Hits UK, and I'm the only Nashville-based DJ that works in the UK. So what happened was, I don't know exactly how it came about, but my manager hit me up. I guess this is after 1 year of CNC. He hit me and goes, hey, I got hit up by someone over there. I want to say it's AXS is the company that runs it.
Yeah, that's the ticket.
Yeah. He said they had a DJ last year that they decided not to bring back this year. And I forget exactly how they found me or my name, but they were like, they're extremely interested in having you. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? Like, this makes no sense. Like, I'm like, I didn't even know that country music was actually that big. And then I actually did my research, and I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, when I went to college, there, I was wearing my cowboy boots to school every single day. And people always joked about like the fact that I wore cowboy boots. Well, that was just normal to me. But in London, all right, I'm going to age myself. I graduated college in 2010. So right around 2009, 2010, I was in London. And at the time, country music was so far from popular. I mean, the music I listened to in my dorm at Elephant and Castle, like, no, I mean, none of my friends listen to country. And honestly, it was kind of a joke. They were like, at school, like my friends from London who were like born there, they're like, and these are dead honest questions. They're like, so like, are you a cowboy? Do you have horses? And like, I was just like, oh my gosh. Like at the time, my friends who were from London, when they thought of country music and Americans, they straight up thought we were like John Wayne. Like my friends were like, "No, you wear cowboy boots. Like, do you actually own or are you from a farm?" And ironically enough, yes, I am. I was born and raised on a dairy farm. But at the time, country music was just kind of so it's just not popular over there. And then here we are, not even 10 years later, and it's one of the biggest genres in the world. But so anyways, so C2C, I did my research and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like CMA Fest, but at the O2.
Yeah.
This is a big deal. So that first year I came over, oh my gosh, what year would this have been? Would this have been my third year or fourth? I think it would have been my third. And then a year before that, they had, who basically had my place in the first place was Ashley Willis was the DJ they had there at the O2, at the Indigo after parties. So anyways, kind of went over there, obviously extremely excited to do it, but I did not know what I was going to be getting myself into in a good way. I had no idea how loyal country music fans are in the UK. Yeah. And I was just on a hiatus that first year. I came over, I flew in, and I got there on the Friday morning before the festival. And I only was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I flew out Monday. I was just like, I'm coming in for the festival, and that's it. Yeah. Now, like this previous year, I came in, I spent 2 weeks over there because there's just so much for me to do over there as far as my career, especially now with Country Hits UK. But that first year I played C2C, I made so many close friends. And then my friend Gavin, who runs a festival in Scotland, reached out to me. He had seen me at the Indigo at C2C, and he was like, I own this festival that in Scotland, and I would love to have you come play. So went from playing C2C the first year to playing Scotland the following year along with C2C. And, my name just kind of started to circulate, and I met Balin from Country Hits UK, who runs the Long Road Festival.
Yeah, great guy.
Balin he's my boy. And he had me over for Long Road, and that's kind of when I matched up with Max from Buck and Bull and Nash Nights UK. And it's crazy just thinking about it, but my country music circuit has grown so much more in the UK than it has in the US in such a brief time. It's just wild. Something I tell, my family and my friends who are like, it's crazy that you're like, you live in Nashville, but you're making money doing what you do in the UK. It's just odd. And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy because I could play festivals all summer long here in the States, and I love doing them. But to be completely honest, coming all the way over there and getting to do what I do on a day-to-day basis is the best thing that could possibly happen to me. And I am so thankful that some reason I was the one that got chosen to make a name over there. And now with Country Hits UK, those guys are some of my biggest supporters. And from that, with the radio show now, clearly I'm talking to you right now. And I have 2 or 3 more calls this week just about kind of where we're at right now. And it's just wild, man. And I just cannot wait for this all to clear up so I can get back over there. Because the way I explain it to my friends that have never been over there, which is now cool because of all the years of me traveling and working with artists, when I play over at C2C, most of the artists that I'm playing with at the after parties are good friends of mine. Nashville is only so big, and we all work together. So it's been cool. Now I travel. This is what's ironic is I won't see certain friends for months and months at a time, and then the place I do run into them is in the UK.
So strange.
No joke. The last thing Jaron was the last one. I was like, dude, I haven't seen you in 3 years. Cadillac 3 blew up. Yeah. He's doing his thing. And then here we are sitting at a pub near Bauer Media. I'm like, dude, we have not had a beer together in 3 years. How ironic is it that we're in England and this is where I see you again? But over the past C2Cs, Last year, Michael Ray and I go way back, and a bunch of his band members are also good friends. And obviously, Michael Ray has blown up in the past few years. And same thing, like we did the after party, and I was like, dude, how crazy! Like, I was like, let's be completely realistic. I was like, a couple of years ago, you and I couldn't afford to drink PBRs at Tin Roof Revival on the Tuesday night, and here we are. Not being modest, but like here we are playing for thousands of people in the UK, and we're getting paid for it. What the actual hell?
And the UK love Michael Ray as well. Massive, big name over here.
Huge. And trying to think of like last year it was Michael Ray. I believe I had Runaway June the one night.
And Ray Lynn.
And Ray Lynn, yeah, and me and Ray Lynn go way back as well. We've done a ton of shows together. But it's cool because, you know, whether you consider me an artist or a DJ or whatever you want, country music entertainer, I will say that, like, no joke, anybody in the country music industry that has come over to the UK will honestly say that when we come over there, we feel like royalty because, you know, you can go to normally you can go to festivals anytime, all the time over here.
Yeah.
When we and people have the words that come out of fans in the UK are literally like, no, you don't understand how thankful we are that you guys come all the way from Nashville, Tennessee to perform for us. And I'm like, why are you thanking me? Like, I should be thanking you. And they're like, no, like the fact that you come all the way over here just to do what you could do on Broadway. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, yes, it's awesome that you guys have us over here. I love it. But like, I will say every day for the rest of my life, I would much rather travel around the world playing country music than just be playing on Broadway every weekend. Like, I mean, this sounds crazy coming out of my mouth because I know that for people over on your side of the pond to come to Nashville is like a dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you know, obviously the fact that I couldn't literally get in my truck right now and drive 3 minutes and be downtown Broadway is like a dream for most people. But for me, I've been doing what I do now for so many years on Broadway I love Broadway. That's my moneymaker. That's where home is. But believe me, I would much rather take a weekend off from Broadway to come to England and do a festival.
Nice.
Like, so yeah, I mean, it's crazy. This year's been nuts. I think we all know that. But the fact that C2C got canceled, and then obviously today, I'm not going to lie, I was pretty upset when I pulled up my Instagram today and found out, well, I have a WhatsApp group. It's me and my, I think it's actually, we call it Long Road 20. It's our WhatsApp message, and we just send each other a ton of hilarious memes and all that. But like, when I woke up and I saw a notification that said, Max, it said, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Long Road's officially canceled. I was devastated. I mean, I knew
one we were holding on for.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. I just really was hoping that it wouldn't. But I spoke with someone who lives over there, works over there, and they said they weren't going back to work. They were not going to be working back in the office as of right now until next year. So when that person told me that, I knew deep down inside that if they said they're not going back to work until next year, there's no way that Long Road's going to happen. So I don't know. I really just hope that we can blow it out next year and it'll be twice as good.
Hello, we're about halfway through. So I've taken this time to have a bit of a breather and do some shameless self-promotion. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, why not follow, like us, subscribe to the show, all that good stuff. You can find the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, the RIOT Radio app if you're in the US, to name just a few. Previous guests at the time of recording include Carl Daniel, Danny McMahon, Jade Hallowell and Kezia Gill, as well as Georgie Thorogood, a festival director of Dixie Fields, so do go check those out. Anyway, back to my conversation with Hish. I continue by asking him what the long-term goals are for his career.
What I want to kind of, and believe me, I ask myself this question every single day, like, what's the next step? I obviously,